First, I give praise to Allah. I give honor to all divine prophets. I give honor to Prophet Noah, the founder. I give honors to Prophet Noah, reincarnated John Gibbons L. I give honors to Grand Sheikh Richard hyphen Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Grand Sheikh hyphen Noble Drew Ali. I give you the greeting words of peace, Islam. ABC.
Islam.
Did anybody get to do any type of knowledge on my demonstration?
Islam.
Or like look over some of the videos pertaining to it?
Islam. I was researching King Josiah you referred to during the Israel demonstration. Come find out his great grandfather's Hezekiah, so he falls in line with the genealogy of Jesus.
So that's all you got out of that demonstration? Cause like that's cool, but that wasn't a core of my demonstration though. I gave a lot of information pertaining to something. It's cool that you looked at somebody up, but that wasn't the core of the demonstration. Because if we not studying what we demonstrating, then it's a waste of our time.
Islam.
You know, like I could look up if Sheikh Amir give a demonstration. You know, I could look up a word, but what does it do as pertaining to his demonstration though? You know what I'm saying? If it don't pertain to his demonstration, it's cool I looked at the word, but when it comes to explaining what he's like, see, like if the Moors put his time and effort, like this information is something that we don't wake up, we're not born with the information. You know, we actually take a time out to study this information ourselves, and many of us got children, work every day. We got the same things that everybody is going through, but the only thing about what's different about us is that we take a time out, well, if it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, to research and do study to particular information they give to y'all. So, you know, we don't ask for nobody money, but you could do is study this information we giving us. That's how you pay us back in our reward. About studying information, so then eventually you'll be up here. But if we're not gonna study what we're talking about, then it's just a waste of time. Because getting this information not easy. Like I tell you all the time, you know, I had elder sheiks that was, you know, that I was under coming up, but I didn't have like this type of institution of brotherhood where you actually getting this information like we're getting it. Like Sheikh Amir used to always tell, I used to tell Sheikh Amir, I'm like, man, yo, you so advanced. Cause I knew Sheikh Amir like, what, 7 years now, I think it's been. About 7 years. More than that. Yeah, so he came in so bright, but he always tell me, if you had he used to always tell me, if I had a person like me, I'll be on another level than I am. He said, well, help him out because he got me. And what makes Amir so, like, I've been telling him since the beginning, what makes him so able to elevate so rapidly, that now he's in a place of his own, because the brother he always took what I said and always followed it. Always, no matter if I don't even know if he ever had doubt in his mind about what I'm doing. He never showed it to me. Don't get me wrong, we got into our little debates. Like, we used to be on the phone for like almost my whole work day. And when I'm at my job, I can't even put the bill on the phone, and me and this guy's going back and forth. You know, I won most of them. You know what I'm saying? I always say that. But we've been going back and forth. But, you know, he always follow what I'm talking about. And, you know, he just rapidly just grew. Sheikh Sadiq, this was one of the quiet brothers in the temple, sitting in the back. I never expected to see where he at. That's why you don't know who's who. Somebody can say, hey, but never speak like that. And that's, you know, they following every statement, every word you say, looking up everything you saying, and that's when they rapidly just grow right before your face. That I'm confident with him that I cannot come here and I know that he's gonna give a demonstration that's on a call what we dealing with here. So if y'all not gonna look up, and think about it, we got videos now, like I can just watch a video and, you know, Google something from the video and boom, take advantage of what we're talking about. I shouldn't have to come. None of us should have to come here as sheiks and ask y'all about a video that I've been doing for the past 3 weeks, and nobody can tell me anything about the videos that we've been doing for 3 weeks. I'm giving y'all. There's a reason. I'm telling you about the Levitical priesthood and the corruption amongst the Levitical priesthood. And any Moors that have been around me for all this time know if I do a demonstration, I'm doing everything for a reason.
Islam.
There's a reason. It all gonna build up and add up to something. I don't do anything that I'm just coming off my mind with. It's always thought about and planned out already. Always. Islam. So we're gonna. I'm gonna end off with we was dealing with the Levitical priesthood, but we're gonna go into the order of Melchizedek. And I'm gonna tell you now. If you not a sheik and a member of the Arab chamber, you not a part of the order of Melchizedek. You on the outside looking in, and you're not gonna never get a full picture. Don't get me wrong. We go into very good detail on things we talk about, but there's so many other keys that's within those chambers that you're not gonna get out here like that.
That's wrong.
You know, because this is not secret; it's sacred.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't deal with secrets, but we deal with things that's sacred. And our order, with the Prophet numbers usually standing at the doorway, he kept this order sacred. Passed down through Grand Sheik, John Givens L, down to the Dingle brothers, down to our Supreme Grand Sheik, Pray to L. And there's things there that, you know, when you get there, that you learn that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? It put things together. So, you know, y'all get good information here, but you're not getting halfway nothing if you're not going if you're not gonna go through there. And here, if you're able to go through that from me, you earned it, because I don't just give it away because you come here every Sunday and you smile and you sit there. Nah, like, you gotta show and prove to me that you on a square. Once you show me that you on your square, yo, it's open. I'ma recommend you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not gonna show me that you on that square, then you're gonna just always be outside the veil. You're never gonna cross that threshold to come beyond that veil. You're gonna be always outside that veil. So I'm letting you know, when I ask questions, you're not gonna give a favorable reply back. You're gonna be on the outside looking in. Because you know, we was under a previous body and we learned the law, and I give honors to that Grand Sheik that taught me the law. Despite our differences, I was very off prior to me meeting him with understanding the law, what the Prophet brought and pertaining to our policy of freedom. I was off, so I'll admit that. And that Grand Sheik, he put me on the right perspective of understanding what is the birthright of the Moors. I did not understand that, because I came from a different perspective, and he put things into the right perspective for me. So I'm gonna always get that more honors, that Grand Sheik, for teaching me the law that he learned through Richardson Dingle L. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But it's like, it was things that it was missing over there. And when I met Supreme Grand Sheik Pray the L and Grand Sheik Yusuf-Bey, the things that wasn't clear to me, they made it clear on a spiritual side. So now I feel thrice blessed.
That's right.
I feel complete, because now I got both aspects of the brothers. I got Richardson Dingle L perspective when it comes to the policy of freedom, and now I got the spiritual aspect when it comes to Timothy Dingle L side through the helps of Supreme Grand Sheik Pray the L and Grand Sheik Yusuf-Bey. They put it in full circle for me. So us here, we got the full scope.
That's right. Whoa.
We got the law that we learned from Richardson Dingle L through the Grand Sheik that taught me, and I was able to teach y'all. And now we got the spiritual component through Supreme Grand Sheik Pray the L through Yusuf-Bey, what we got here. So now we got a complete circle. So we bless. So when things happen, you don't understand why they happen like that. When that took place, and we went through that ordeal, we went through with that Grand Sheik, I didn't understand why this was happening. And you reflect back in your mind and try to understand like what took place. But then when we came to Timothy's side through the Supreme Grand Sheik Pray the L, it made sense because we was incomplete. So for all the Moors that, you know, they couldn't stick around for this, they missed a blessing. It was a member here, when I was under the other body, I was told that we couldn't wear certain colors, But that grand sheik never explained to me. They told me this after like 3 years after us being in the temple doing what we was doing, wearing all these different colors. Then one day after blue, the grand sheik told me, oh, we can't wear them colors. So, you know, I'm thinking like, what's going on here? Like, we've been doing it for 3-4 years now. Now you telling us that. But then when I go to Supreme Grand Sheik Pray the L side under Timothy, I get explained this immediately. Why we don't wear this, why we don't wear that, what we wear these colors for. So now I don't have no feelings because that's not something that they let me do for 4 years and then come out the blue and tell me, oh, you can't do that no more because we don't do that. They told me from the get-go. So Grand Sheik Young Bey came all the way from upstate and showed me how to set up the temple. How to have but we always have flags away, but how you come through the flags and how we supposed to sit and you know everything and how we greet each other, because there was a format or an order that anytime you come under Timothy L's body, you're gonna always see us doing the same thing. It's called order and structure. You're gonna always see Moors with these white jackets, or you're gonna see Moors sitting a certain way, like the Moors sitting right here. You're gonna see how we're gonna stand a certain way. You're gonna always see this order. You're gonna always see the Moors with a certain type of color fez on, a certain type of turban or color turban on. It's order.
That's right.
And then you'd be surprised that it was a Moor here. I'm telling him, and I go into the resurrection, try to show him why we gonna do this and that. And the Moor trying to argue with me, but not understand that we under a system that we didn't know before.
That's right.
It was a whole system in place that we had no idea about. That through the other body, we got sprinkles of it, but it was never fully complete to under Supreme Grand Sheik explain to us fully in totality. So we blessed. Moors, we are very blessed. So I'm going to get into a little bit of this. I'm going to end off and I'm going to go on to another direction because the order of Melchizedek is a Canaanite order.
That's right.
It's a Canaanite order. And anyone who hear me on YouTube and throughout these waves, when you hear someone from on that, I can hear a brother speaking that's not even part of the Most High Temple of America, and I can hear that they of that order, that sacred right brother, because we talk the same language no matter what particular body, what spiritual system you under. Truth is truth, and it don't change or pass away.
That's right.
So I can meet a brother who is a Hebrew Israelite, and he could be talking on a level that I say, oh, that brother's of the Great White Brotherhood. I can hear a brother who's a Sufi and may be speaking, and I'll be like, man, that brother, because we all gonna have that same language. When you hear the truth, you hear the truth. It don't matter what particular religious spirituality you're a part of, you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that voice. You're gonna be like, oh, he's on that level. He's a part of the Great White Brotherhood. You're gonna recognize it. So it's people that I listen to on YouTube, and I hear them. I say, oh, that brother, he's of the Great White Brotherhood. He's not even a part of the Most High Temple of America. But because they study such on a level, you start connecting it with, truth starts connecting with one another. Islam. So King Hezekiah ruled Judah from around 715 to 687, according to the biblical book of Isaiah, 2 Kings, and 2 Chronicles. He carried out a religious and political reform. Hezekiah religious reform appeared including the elimination of various forms of religious practice, including the eliminating of various forms of religious practice other than worship at the Temple of Jerusalem, which is in 2 Kings 18:22. So what King Hezekiah was doing, like I explained previously, they wanted to destroy any other place of worship of Yahuwa that was not in Jerusalem. This was part of the religious form, and it was kings that was involved in this religious form as well as priests, because they wanted to bring all the offerings to Jerusalem, because this is where they want to get their gain from. They greediness gain from the Levitical priests, because they didn't want the sacrifice to go other than to them. So it's about monetary gain. The religious reform meant more than breaking idols and cleaning the temple. It also meant destroying the places at worship of Yahuwa outside of Jerusalem. Hezekiah eliminated them and promised that the centralization of the religions at the temple in Jerusalem. This is the 2 Chronicles 31-5. So this is what he wanted to do. So he wanted to make sure that when they bring the sacrifices, it's not going to be over there, over there, over there. They all got to bring it to Jerusalem. And this is why at certain times of the year, Bnei Israel is going to go to Jerusalem to the high priest, and they're going to sacrifice animals in Jerusalem, because the Levitical priests, they created this system for them to get a monetary gain from it, so they could be able to live off the people without ever working a day in their life.
Wow.
That's what it's about. The observation of the Sabbath is assigned to Nehemiah, yet the writer of Nehemiah, which is chapter 13, verse 15 to 22, seems ignorant of the penalty, which is in Exodus 35 and 2, for it violates the fact, suggesting that the penalty must have been prescribed years later. Nor does it cite the penalty actual claim to have been erected on a man for the offenses in the presence of Moses himself, which is in Numbers 15, 32 to 36. So this is saying that during Nehemiah's time, they wasn't even observing the Sabbath, because this knowledge of this law did not exist prior to Israel establishing it, because he was really the Moses. That's why during this time they didn't know about no Sabbath or any penalty or anything, because it didn't exist. It was a myth created by the Levitical priesthood. This is very controversial what I'm saying, but we, like I said before, we're not going to be dogmatic.
That's right.
We deal with the biblical records and the narrative to explain our point. But we are scientists. We're going to dig deep into the narrative, and sometimes we might find things that we might not like. But because we're not holding on to a religious dogma, it's not going to affect us. Because we deal with the principle of a story that makes us better beings. If observing the Sabbath makes you a better person, then it's all good. Is observing Friday as a high holy day for you, it makes you a better person, it's all good. And even if you got to go to church on a Sunday, and that's a place that makes you good for you on Sunday, it's all good for you. Because no one can tell your spiritual path. You understand?
That's right, Mo.
We're not dogmatic like that. Nor does he cite the penalty, the actual claim to have been executed on man for the offensive in the presence of Moses himself. Does Israel, with all his zeal against idolaters and ready scribes, that he was in the laws of Moses, which is in Israel 7 and 6, cite that the dreadful plague, Numbers 25th chapter, caused by the marrying with the Midianites. However, in Israel chapter 7 verse 10 to 11 seems a clear claim that for Israel that he was indeed the actual author of such commandments and laws as are assigned by the priesthood to a mythological Moses. So he was the real author of these works. And that's why when you read the Apocrypha, what I gave you I think it was Apocrypha, 2nd Israel chapter 14, verse 22, he admitting that he was the author from the beginning. So this is at that high information I'm giving y'all pertaining to this. And anybody who's been here, I walked you through many schools of walks, and I give y'all the layout forward on the face value level of these scriptures. And we walk through the school. We'll go to observe the high holy days, and we'll go and do these certain things. Then I have to give you the in-depth study what these things are, because we cannot be holding on to dogma.
Islam, bear witness.
Islam?
Islam.
So Moors, look up what I'm talking about. Islam?
Islam.
Next week, when I ask about this, I shouldn't be having, people looking at me like I'm crazy. Because it's just a video. I know pretty sure throughout the week you're listening to music or watching something on television or YouTube throughout the week. Like, watch our videos. Take down the notes. Now, you know, a lot of people talk about Gentiles, and we understand is that a Gentile could be a mind state and it could mean people from another nation. Now, when you're dealing with the construction of King Solomon's temple, who was the one who aided in constructing King Solomon's temple? Anybody knows? Huh? Kenite. You know anyone particular though?
King of Tyre.
You should have been answering that.
My middle name.
That's the name you chose for yourself, right? I was waiting for you to answer it fast. Yeah,
I was.
He's looking.
I was watching.
But King Hiram.
Hiram Abiff.
We're not gonna say that because in the Bible we don't call him Hiram Abiff. And if you study masonry, some people say that Hiram in the Bible, Hiram Abiff is not the same person. So you know, do the knowledge. Don't jump out the window. Gotta do the knowledge more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't necessarily think Hiram in the Bible or Hiram Abiff is the same. But Hiram of Lebanon biblically is referred to the fact that the phase cedar Lebanon, the fact that which the king Solomon built the temple in Jerusalem, he built it out of the powerful cedar tree that has been imported from the land of Phoenicia just to the north of the land of Israel. The land that is now Lebanon, cedar of Lebanon, is used as a metaphor for strengthening and power. So when you look at Lebanon and you look at their flag with the cedar tree, it looks very similar to the Bunker Hill flag, what they call the Continental flag. Yeah, I got it on myself. Some more don't acknowledge this flag, but you know, I came from a school of thought that we wore this flag, and I acknowledge various different other flags besides the flags that we find at Temple. I acknowledge other flags, but this flag is very similar to the flag of Lebanon. And when we wore this flag one time, people from Lebanon came to us thinking it was their flag, not realizing it was the cedar tree.
That's right.
And that flag also go back to the Iroquois too. It's long?
It's long, right.
Give me Psalms 29 verse 5.
The voice, Psalms 29 verse 5. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon.
It's long. So you see, I said the cedar of Lebanon, and I'll give you a biblical reference. Not King Solomon, through surely he was the mastermind behind the sacred building project, but it was King Hiram of Tyre. If Solomon was the builder, the Hiram was the contractor. He was a Gentile. We have a Gentile to thank for something that depended deepen, enriching, and even defining Israel's lifestyle. So when we go back, when you building the King Solomon's temple, the mastermind behind building the temple was King Hiram, who was what?
Canaanite.
A Canaanite. It's all gonna build up. Give me 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 11. To make this faster sheet, you got a Bible, you should be back on this. I got my Bible right here.
2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 11. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David an house.
So is this adding up?
It's long.
So King David conquered the old Jebite city of Jerusalem. King Hiram of Tyre sent material to David with the cedar log, carpenters, and stone masons. They built a place for David. Give me 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 11 to 14, whoever get it first. And you could give me 1 Kings chapter 5 to 15. 1 Kings chapter 5, 11 to 14. And Sheikh Siddiq gonna give you 1 Kings chapter 5 to 15. No matter of fact, you don't gotta get next, you're gonna read that. 1 Kings chapter 5, 11 to 15.
1 Kings chapter 5, 11 to 14. 15. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel. And
So it was peace between King Solomon, who's an Israelite, and a Canaanite.
Islam. That's right.
A Gentile.
That's right.
A Gentile was the mastermind by building King Solomon's temple. He's the one that supplied him with the material to build the temple. A Gentile who is a Canaanite.
That's right.
Islam?
Islam.
And King Solomon raised a levy out of Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,000 that bear burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains.
Islam. So Solomon's wisdom sent by all the kings of the earth who had heard of his wisdom, and then Hiram appears again. King Hiram of Tyre sent his officers to Solomon, where he heard that he had been anointed king in a place of his father, for Hiram had always been friends of David, which is 1 Kings 5 and 20. In Sodom, another place from Phoenicia, are superior to with their skills and his public acknowledgement the fact the same way. So his public acknowledgement. So now, what do we have here, Moors? We have a Gentile who's not an Israelite, but he was the mastermind with building up King Solomon's temple, which was something that in the times of Israel was something that was very acknowledged and prestigious to the Israelites, but yet it was a Canaanite, Hiram of King Hiram of Tyre, that was the mastermind behind this, right? So that's a Gentile that helped build the Solomon's temple. Is that a check? That's a check. Now you have Jethro publicly acknowledged the Lord is greater than all the other gods. Give me Exodus chapter 18 verse 11. Yeah, give me that. Anybody know the tribe which Jethro come from? His people? Yeah, exactly, they're both right. Y'all heard what they said?
No.
Kenites.
The Kenites, not Canaanites, Kenites.
That's K-E-E-N-I-T.
Yeah, the case. 18 verse 20.
Exodus chapter 18, verse 20. Okay.
No, 18 verse 11.
Excuse me. 18, verse 11. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them.
So now, this is Jethro, who's not an Israelite, but yet he's acknowledging the God above all other gods. Islam?
Islam. So hopefully you get the connection. He's just laying the foundation and showing, even though the person may be a Gentile, they play an important part.
Islam. So Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt to meet with Jethro, the Kenite, which is Kenite, Arab. Jethro led Moses and Aaron in worship with a sacrifice or offering of a sacred meal. The Lord himself acknowledged the priesthood of Jethro. You not hearing me, Moors? Go back to 8. No, you did 18 and 12, right?
18 and 11.
All right, go to 12. Read 12.
And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God, and Aaron came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God.
Why would Aaron, who's an Israelite from the tribe of Levi, accept the offering from Jethro, who is a Kenite, not an Israelite, and accept an offering that he did to God if this is a heathen? He's acknowledging the same deity that Jethro acknowledging, and Jethro is a high priest. That means he has a priesthood. At this time, was the Aaron priesthood established? It was not established, so this priesthood is older than the Aaronic priesthood. So yet Aaron acknowledged the offering that this Kenite, who's not an Israelite, is offering to the Most High. So now you have Hiram of King Tyre, who is the mastermind behind building Solomon's temple, who's a Canaanite. Now you have Jethro, who is a Kenite Arab, who is making an offering to the Most High, and Aaron is participating in this offering. But he's an Israelite, and the Aaronic priesthood is not yet established yet.
Word. Deep.
Gentiles. Yeah, the Bible and laws was constructed for the lordship of Israel because they were lost, but there were groups of people who was not lost.
That's right.
So if they're not lost, why would they need any type of law sent to them when they already got a law that they're holding to already? If you have laws already, you worshiping the one true God. You don't need somebody to come, a prophet to come. Prophet comes to those who are lost.
That's right.
Jethro, the Kenite, was already worshiping the true God already. Now, was all Kenites doing that? No. A lot of Kenites were idol worshipers, but he was not. So, acknowledge the priesthood of Jethro, the Arab. This was before Aaron was designated to be a high priest, before the laws were given. So the Kenites are Arab people, was worshiping the true God before Aaron was already established. And this priesthood is older than the Aaronic priesthood. Moses and Aaron recognized that the legitimacy of the Rechabite priesthood. It should note that Aaron was not consecrated as a priest until chapters later in Exodus 28 and 1. Let me get that. So it was a priesthood of the Rechabites that was older than the Aaronic priesthood, and this Rechabite priesthood is almost on the same footing as the Melchizedek priesthood, because both of these priesthoods are older. One is by Melchizedek, who was the Canaanite high priest, and then you have Jethro, who was a Kenite, who was a high priest of this brotherhood or this priesthood. That's older than the Aaronic priesthood, but yet they all worship El and Yahuwa.
Work, bro. Go ahead. Work.
The prophet Noble Joali stand in the doorway of the order of Melchizedek. That Adam chamber, the most sensitive of America, third heaven.
Islam.
That's what all masterminds around the world recognize him. When he adorns us with the fez, y'all don't even understand. People want to make fun of the fez now. People don't understand how powerful when he adorns with the fez with that attachment at the screen 360 degrees. And gave us a clean fez with nothing on it because we was a pure and clean nation.
That's right. Slow.
Y'all must understand what that represents. It gets deeper than just we doing the fez 360 degrees. It goes way more deeper than that. But y'all more could continue to be on the outside looking in. Because this is not secret, it's only sacred.
It's love.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 1. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons.
So we see here in Exodus chapter 28, verse 1, this is when they established a priesthood for the Aaronic priesthood. But we prayed earlier than that he was participating in the offering to the Most High with Jethro and his priesthood before the priesthood was established. And these were not Israelites, these were what they call Gentiles.
That's right.
But are Israelites going to talk about this?
Nope.
They're not going to mention these things. Give me the big Quran of Mecca, chapter 7, verse 85. And from the big Quran of Mecca too, give me chapter 11, verse 94. Got it. Chapter 7, verse 85.
Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 85. To the Madian people we sent Shuyab, one of their own brethren. He said, O my people, worship Allah, yea, have no other God but him. Now hath come unto you a clear sign from your Lord. Give just measure and weight, nor withhold from the people the things that are their due, and do no mischief on the earth after it has been set in order. That will be best for you, if ye have faith.
What's the name you said?
The
The S name.
Shuyab.
Do you have any commentary on who that is in the Quran? Does it mention the commentary who that might be? I want him to tell us who's that they mentioned in the Quran.
History. You got the chapter 7, 85. Chapter 7? Yeah. Verse 85.
Did they mention in your part who that was?
Nah, usually they mention it prior. That's what I'm trying to see where he read from.
Go to Holy Quran chapter 7, verse 85. If y'all can't, I just want somebody else to say who he is. Y'all can even Google if you want to.
S-H-U? What's up?
S-H-U
apostrophe A-Y-D.
A-Y-B?
Yeah.
There's no commentary on who that is?
Oh, Jethro.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what.
That's Jethro in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the Quran. So let's read that again, what he's saying. Let's read that again. Thank you, Lord.
To the Madian people we sent Shurab, or Jethro, one of their own brethren. He said, O my people, worship Allah. Ye have no other God but him. Now hath come unto you a clear sign from your Lord. Give just measure and weight, nor withhold from the people the things that are their due, and do no mischief on the earth after it has been set in order. That will be best for you if ye have faith.
So this is what Jethro was saying in the Holy Quran. He was not an Israelite, but yet he's telling them to worship the one God, Allah. There's a continuity with the Bible.
Surah 11, ayat 94. And when our decree came to pass, we delivered Shu'ab and those who believed with him by mercy from us. And the cry overtook those who were iniquitous, so they were motionless bodies in their abodes.
Islam. So you see that we have what we call a Gentile, but yet this Gentile is worshiping the one God. Islam. So, I'm always, this table up here is real little.
Put on top of speaker.
It's cool for now. I'll get it. Okay, yeah. I got so much stuff in my notes. That's why when we go back to visit them brothers that we gonna visit, we know how to deal with this next time. We gotta be rapid fire. We was building up for something that never got there. You know what I'm saying? But that was definitely a lesson learned. Islam. So the Kenites lived in Canaan before Abraham. The Reghabite tribes of the Kenites who served as scribes before the Lord. Give me 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 55.
First Chronicles chapter 2, verse 55. And the families of the scribes which dwelt at Jabez, the Tirathites, the Shimeites, and Sukkothites, these are the Kenites that came of Hemath, the father of the house of Rechab.
Islam. These Kenites were a tribe or clan of semi-nomadic metal workers. The Kenites lived in the land of Canaan before Abraham arrived in Canaan, which is Genesis chapter 15, verse 18 to 19. They are not the descendants of Abraham. The Kenites are Arabs. The Kenites are of an earlier tribe of Arabs. So you have these Kenites that's not descendants of Abraham. They are Arabs, but they lived in the land of Canaan before the Israelites or Abraham even came to the land of Canaan. So these are Kenites that lived in the land of Canaan. Kenites. K-E-N-I-T-E-S. Yahuwa was originally the tribe god of the Kenites.
Working, Mo.
That's why Exodus 18 and 12, Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, takes a burnt offering and sacrifice for God. Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat with Moses, the Kenite priest of Yahuwa. Jethro led Moses and Aaron to worship before Yahuwa. So these Kenites who lived in the land of Canaan, who their high priest was Jethro, who has a priesthood that exists. Moses and Aaron is following him. When they making an offering to Yahuwah and praying to Yahuwah, These Kenites were already doing this before the Aaronic priesthood was established. And these Kenites were Arabs, an Arab clan. And I might have the picture of them. I think I got the picture of them in my bag. 215? Okay. I'll have to end this. Aaron was not consecrated as a priesthood. Moses and Aaron recognized the legitimacy of the Arab Rechabite priesthood, which we read in Exodus 28:1. Jethro was not a idolater. He was not an idol worshiper, yet they recognized his priesthood. They recognized his order.
That's right.
Yahuwa came from Seir. Deuteronomy 23:1-2. The Arabs who lived in this region near Seir were worshippers of Yahuwa, and they were not Israelites. They worshiped of Yahuwa, and they were not Israelites. The Rechabites knew God by his holy name. The Bedouin Arab, the Shashu Arab worshiped Yahuwa before the reign of the 19th dynasty of the Pharaoh Amenhotep III, 390-352. Mount Seir is a mountain in Petra in Jordan. And they were worshiping Yahuwah before Bnei Israel worshiped Yahuwah, and they were known as the Shashu. And when you look at the Shashu people, they was a conglomerate of various nomadic people. And guess who was a part of this group? The Moabites.
That's right.
So the Moabites was the worshippers of Yahuwah, and that later on Bnei Israel adopted the worshiping of this deity of Yahuwah from the Shashu people, who were a collaboration of Moabites, Kenites, Canaanites, and various other people who came to worship Yahuwah near Mount Seir, which is in Petra, which we know, if you do the knowledge, that we know that that's where the original Mecca is at. It's long.
I was reading something from one of your demonstrations, and it's a map that I seen in Edom. They have Petra in Edom as the capital.
It's not the Garden of Edom, it's Edom. Where the Edomites is at,
Yeah, that's why I seen Petra on as the city state of that region, which is southern, like right below Moab and Canaan and stuff like that in that region. I thought it was along the waterway, like the Mecca they have to this day. I think that's the Red Sea, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, yeah. But that Moors, and I want to say this, the Kenites lived in Seir before the Edomites exist as a people. They lived there way before the Edomites even exist as a people. The Kenites were already living there already, worshiping Yahuwah already. And I'm continuing this next week more, but if you study what I'm talking about, the wicked Levitical priesthood, their corruption, and that they were priesthoods that was older than their priesthood, they acknowledged already and was actually taught and read under these Kenite Arabs who lived in the land of Canaan before they even established a priesthood for themselves. With that, I say peace.